again, and good morning. It's a nice bright early morning. It's about 8 a.m. Saturday, and my family is all still sleeping, so the house is nice and quiet, and this gives me a chance to jump into a little bit of painting, have a little bit of free time. So what I want to accomplish today is really focusing on building out this tree. So last time we left off, we really were focusing and working on our little lake here. Got those reflections put in. Even after the video that I shot, I did add just a little bit more color. I added a little bit more of some lighter yellowish green tones, and just kind of brought some of the reflection out just a little bit more, but nothing severe, and nothing probably worth even recording, but I did want to bring some of those colors out a little bit more. So anyway, what I want to do is continue to build this out. Now, I did underlay this initial part of the tree all in acrylic, but now that I've added oil on top of this region here into the sky, specifically in this area here, I can't come back and reapply acrylic any longer to this painting. So I'm going to build out the rest of this this canopy of trees right here and kind of move it into the sky region a little bit more and kind of push it out toward kind of this area right here, more toward the center of the painting. So in order to do that, I'm now going to have to use my acrylic palette. So really beyond this point, we're really using oil paints, not my acrylic palette, my oil palette. So that's what I want to work on, and let's get started. Now I'm using Alkyd oil paints, and if you're not familiar with Alkyd oil paints, they dry really fast, and you typically have a few hours of wet time with them that you can use. And then usually after about a day, definitely by the next morning, they're very dry to the touch, just like an acrylic. So I like them because they are kind of that balance between acrylic paint and oil. And I'm going to add a little bit more black to this color. Got to put a little bit more on my palette here. But yeah, they're kind of that middle of the road sort of paint. And if you like acrylic, but you like the virtues of acrylic, such as quicker drying time and so forth, but you also like the virtues of oil, which is a little bit more blending time, then you're going to really like Alkyd paints. And I've really been kind of getting into them a little bit more. So I can apply this. It'll pretty much be dry by tomorrow, and that's pretty nice. Okay. I'll come on down here. And so all I really want to do is just kind of build out our little tree here. Kind of give it a little bit more life. And you know, you want to make sure it's very irregular. You don't want to have, you know, the same directions, the same shapes. Now that we've kind of laid in kind of the initial leafing, clumps of leafing that we want to do, I'm just coming back and I'm just adding kind of some pockets of dark. And I have modeled on other kind of little colors, little hues of greens and you know, of different shades of blues and different values, but I'm coming into my pure ivory black, and kind of here at the base and close to this tree trunk that I just kind of painted in here, I'm just wanting to add a little bit more shadow, because these sections here are going to get quite, you know, quite shaded, and I'm not doing a lot of detail here. This is really just making basic indications that something's kind of going on here way in the back of the recesses of this tree, that there's going to be more indistinguishable shadows and leafing and shapes and forms that we really can't tell. But it will add some interest, and it'll be a quicker way of making kind of a fuller canopy, because as we work closer on these close-up trees, it's not like these background trees where I can simply just sort of bring on little tiny clumps of brush strokes to indicate that I've got some trees and some leaves here. But when we get closer here, obviously my leaves are going to be larger and broader, more distinguishable, and we're going to have to paint on each individual leaf, kind of almost draw it on, really. And because that's going to obviously be closer to the foreground, and so therefore we want to give that illusion that. So what I want to work on as I continue to let this area dry here is I'm going to come in with my Series 1 number 1 rigger brush, and I'm I just want to kind of build out some of the leafing surrounding these little areas right here. And I've mixed up some phthalo yellow, a little bit of titanium white, some black, some sap green, and a little bit of phthalo green yellow. And I just need to come through here. For example, I just want to come out and start, get a little bit more thinner on my brush and a little bit more paint. But I need to kind of come through here and start adding some individual leaves and really kind of cleaning up the areas around some of our large masses that I've kind of thrown in here. So I'm going to go through here now and sort of do all this. You want to keep in mind as you do this about creating shape and form, and make sure you're going all different directions, because you don't want to have uniformity. Nature is very full of variety, and it is very irregular. So don't fall into the trap of making the same exact shape. And that'll give it much more realism. Okay, so now that we've sort of laid in the basic structure and shape of our tree here, what I want to do is go through, so I need to open up the canopy just a little bit because it's quite full, and add a few more just maybe holes through the canopy that you can kind of see the sky in the background. This sky was painted in with titanium white and just a little bit of, what did I use? I used cerulean blue. I had to look to make sure which blue I was using here. So yeah, this is mostly titanium white with just a tinge of cerulean blue to kind of tint it. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of those two colors, but more into the white. And I want to come through here and kind of just add little pockets where we can kind of just open up this canopy a little bit. We're going to look at beginning the leafing process on this foreground tree, which will be a little bit different than you saw me do here in the background region, where the strokes are much finer and tinier. In this case, excuse me, we'll need to do kind of broader strokes, and we'll need to kind of paint these leaves on as if they're, to give that illusion that it's closer. So I'm going to be using a larger brush. I'm using this Series 1 number 1 brush. It's a rigger brush, got a fairly decent sized head on it, and the colors I'm going to mix for this, and I want them to be rather dark, but we'll add in a little bit of titanium white. I'm going to pre-mix this, get some black, so that'll be ivory black. Bring in some sap green, a little bit of phthalo yellow green, and a little bit of Winsor yellow. And I think with that color, I'm going to add another one. I'm going to add dioxazine purple, and that'll give it a nice, rich, dark sort of contrast to it. I really enjoy using purple. I think purple is an excellent natural shadow color, but it needs to be used pretty sparingly too. Alright, so that'll kind of help to cool it down a little bit more. Because what I want to do is I want to bring in leaves that are definitely still in shadow. So pick up a little of this color, and we'll kind of start kind of right here. We'll start by bringing in This will be almost just drawing on each individual leaf. Kind of has a fanned pattern. You kind of want to go different directions with this. And make just different kind of shapes and sizes. But I almost just want to kind of make it look a little bit like it's got some fingers on it. All right, so I feel like we pretty well got in our tree the best that we could at this time, and so that's kind of just a quick way on how I would do a really close foreground tree close to the forefront of the painting. And so I hope that was beneficial for you. And next time we jump back into this, start kind of working kind of this whole area right down in here. So until then, I appreciate you tuning in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll look forward to continuing this painting here real soon. So thanks a lot.